Hello and welcome to another video with me, Elmo J. Karjalainen. It's good to have you along. Today I'm taking a look at the Squier Classic Vibe Strat and comparing it to the Fender Player Series Strat. The Squier costs €385, whereas the Fender costs €639. Add 10-ish% and you get the dollar amount, but I don't know what these go for in the States. So, before we play these, how do they look? First glance, they both look really nice. The Squier has a NATO body, which is presumably a Scottish person with no toes. The neck is maple, the fretboard is Indian laurel, 21 frets, and a Fender designed Alnico single coil pickups. And comparing it to the Fender, you have an alder body, maple neck, maple fretboard, 22 frets, which is a problem for me, I can't count that far. New Player Series Alnico V single coil pickups. Now if we take a closer look at the guitars, there are a couple of differences here. The tremolo is a 2-point system on the Fender, whereas it's the vintage style on the Squier. Squier has vintage style tuners, whereas the Fender has slightly sturdier looking ones. And if we look on the back, you can see the tremolo system on the Squier is made of that cheap kind of whatever that is. Looks flimsy and so on, whereas on the Fender it looks really robust. But the grain on the Fender neck looks nice, but it doesn't look too bad on the Squier either. Now, I've had the Squier for quite a while and I borrowed the Fender. This is the second time I have it on the channel. And I know a bit about what kind of problems you might expect with these guitars. With the Fender, there have been no problems. I borrowed this from a student of mine who's never had anything done to it, not even a setup. And yeah, no fret sprout, nothing like that, no dead notes. Whereas the Squier. Yes, the Squier. I did a review of this quite a long time ago and I like the guitar. But it is almost €400. Slightly over $400 at least, just converting from euros. And it was fine, until it suddenly wasn't fine. I spent quite a bit of time setting this guitar up, because it was fine out of the box, but then it started having issues. And this is something that's good to keep in mind when buying new instruments. Maybe buy second-hand instruments, because they've already had their infancy problems. The problems that this guitar got were fret sprouts. So the frets stuck out because the wood shrunk because it dried out, and that's a bother. Now I've spent quite a bit of time filing down the frets on this because I'm new to the whole game of filing down frets. You have the option of taking it to a luthier or you can file them down yourself, and if you're getting something like this, especially if you're a beginner, you don't want to be doing that kind of stuff. The neck also twisted, so it was hugely bowed like this, but that's easy enough to just adjust yourself. There are videos on YouTube, but even that, back when I was starting, I wouldn't have wanted to do something like that. Fender had none of those issues. So the difference in price there shows in what you have to do to the instrument. That being said, even expensive instruments can get bent necks and fret sprout and all that. Let's get to the sounds. So how does this feel? It feels very nice to play. Let's add a bit of overdrive. Okay, so it doesn't stay in tune at all. There, now it's almost in tune. That can be helped by adding nut sauce or whatever it's called here in the nut, or with a pencil. I have a video with tuning issues I'll link to somewhere here. That should help you. But it sounds quite nice. Let's add a bit more gain. And horribly out of tune again. Let's swap to the other guitar. So, here's the Fender Player Series Strat. So this didn't stay in tune entirely either, but that's to be expected. It stayed in tune better than the other one. So what do I think? Well, clearly there is quite a bit of a price difference. So this is just over 600, whereas the other one is just under 400. Basically 250 euro difference there. That's a bit of money. I mean, you can get an entire guitar for that kind of money. Is it really worth it? I mean, because that plays nicely. Personally, I would say yes. If you do have the extra money, this is just so much nicer. Truth be told, I would upgrade the pickups on this regardless, but I'm very particular about the pickups. I use the Seymour Duncan YJM Fury stacked humbuckers or the DiMarzio HS3s. I'm fine with either, but I don't like the, you can notice if I turn off my noise gates and add, you get that. There's a slight bit of buzz from the amp, but there's an added buzz from the single coils. If you put it in an in-between position, you get kind of a humbucking effect, so you don't get the buzz. Now it's just the bridge, now it's both. So I would definitely upgrade the pickups on either one, but this just feels so much nicer. That being said, I don't know how much it's influencing me that I actually know what these guitars are. If I wasn't doing this channel on my own, I'd probably do a blindfold test and see which one I prefer. That would be fun, but I'm doing this on my own. But that being said, when you add money, you get more quality, at least on average. And here's a picture of a cat to prove my point. And here's a graph to also prove my point. When you add more money, you get more quality, but there's a law of diminishing returns type thing. And there's also the problem that guitars are individuals, so you might get a Player Strat that's worse than the Classic Vibe, but on average, I would wager that these are better quality woods, quality inspection is better and all that. Shh, my phone. So personally, I would go for this, but that's not to say that the Classic Vibe is a bad option. It's a very upgradable guitar. Personally, I wouldn't go below the Classic Vibe. I wouldn't get the Affinity, although there are individuals there as well. You might find a very good one that you can upgrade, which would be very nice. And really, I would go for something second-hand, because the Classic Vibe has had its infancy problems, and this guitar just been lucky that it doesn't have it, that it hasn't had any infancy problems. When you get a second-hand guitar, you can avoid all that mucky muck with fret sprout and all that, because that's already been taken care of, or it never developed those problems, setup and all that. Yeah, so I would go for this. And some of you will call me an elitist snob, but go right ahead. If you want to watch more of my guitar reviews, there's a playlist here somewhere. If you want to check out some of my music, there's another playlist. Click like if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell notification thing, comment, let me know what you thought. Do you have any experience with these guitars? And join me on Patreon, because you get all of my music, you get access to my Guitar Academy and a bunch of exclusives. You can even take that stuff for free if you want. There's a link in the description. Thank you, Vera, for lending me this guitar. I hope to see you in another video. Take care. Bye!